There hasn't been a more fascinating or frustrating situation in the entire NIL era of college football than the one that Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss is going through. Chambliss started his college career at D2 program Ferris State, where he thrived as a two-time national champion and GLIAC Player of the Year in 2024 before transferring to Ole Miss. While originally slated to be the backup to Austin Simmons, an injury thrust Chambliss into the starting lineup, where he quickly found his footing despite a massive jump in talent from Division II to the SEC. Chambliss finished the year earning second-team All-SEC honors with nearly 4,000 passing yards and 30 total touchdowns, while leading the Rebels to the College Football Playoff semifinal despite a fractured locker room following the departure of Lane Kiffin for LSU. After such an inspiring season, Chambliss announced that he would return to Ole Miss for a final college season, appealing the NCAA for an extra year of eligibility due to a redshirt in 2021 and an injury in 2022 while at Ferris State. Instead, the NCAA has denied Chambliss's appeal request, to the point that the Ole Miss athletic department has released a scathing statement that reads, in part, "The NCAA Athletic Eligibility Subcommittee's decision to deny Trinidad's appeal is indefensible in light of the undisputed facts." The NCAA staff and the subcommittee asserted that Trinidad was not denied the opportunity to compete during the 2022 season, despite the reality that he did not dress for a single game while suffering from severe, incapacitating medical conditions. Now, Chambliss has to weigh his options between continuing to fight this legal battle to play in college in the 2026 season, or declare for the NFL draft, where he might legitimately be a top prospect in a very thin QB class. So let's dive into the Chambliss tape to show you what kind of talent this man has, regardless of where he plays next year, in today's episode of Best Available. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Make sure that you are subscribed on YouTube if you're not already, and follow us on socials at BestAvailableYT. If you want another way to support the channel, I highly consider becoming a member. It's a great way to support the channel with some additional added benefits, including full access to my NFL Draft Big Board, which I was very hesitant to add Chambliss to with all the situations, but he is now finally in there and graded after making this video. So check that out. I'll leave details to that on becoming a member in the episode description. But let's go ahead and dive into the Chambliss tape, because this one completely threw me for a loop. It's very rare nowadays for me to just get totally floored by a prospect, when I'm grading a guy, especially if I've already watched them on college on like broadcasts, because I've watched plenty of Ole Miss games, and I had already known that Chambliss was a good player. But I think after watching like the All 22, really diving into it, I came away way more impressed than I was expecting. Like, I'm just going to let you guys know right now, if he declares, this is a first-round quarterback in my eyes. I see some weird shades of Kyler, a little Caleb, and maybe those are hyperbolic. I don't care. I think this is the kind of talent we're dealing with at the position. On the smaller end, but the arm talent is there. And you'll see all of why I feel this way throughout this video. So I hope I convey it properly, because especially this playoff game against Georgia, just blown away by the composure he showed in a game where things weren't always going their way. They had to come back, they had to fight back. A couple times he had to leave big drives, and boy did he. Let's go ahead and dive into it on this first play. And this is just a real quick now throw, like a quick slant. What I love on all of his throws that are quick game, and you'll see it. Let me just roll it right now so you get a better feel of it, is how quick his release is and his intentionality with his feet. I want you to watch his feet and how he sets up to throw this just so quickly. I love a quarterback. I've watched so many guys in this class that are just so lackadaisical with like the instant throws. Like, hey, we're riding the play fake, and then I'm going to like throw off my back foot. I'm going to throw off platform. I'm going to sidearm it. I'm going to fade away from it. And all of that leads to, and there's one guy I'm thinking of particular, I won't name him, I think that's a little harsh, but all of that leads to inaccurate passes. And especially on quick game, you want to hit guys accurately and in stride to allow them to maximize their yak, or yards after catch potential. And it just drives me nuts when quarterbacks don't focus on the little things to deliver accurately. But Chambliss, in every quick throw I saw from this game, does the same thing. So we're going to ride the play fake. So he sees the guy, he's going to be right here on this side of the screen. But I just want you to watch. He flips his hips, gets those feet set. He has his shoulders, his feet and shoulders are pointed the same way, and he steps into that throw. And yeah, it's like a 5, 6, 7 yard gain. I don't care when you're doing that consistently, and this shows up the whole game. I had to cut more reps of this because we have so many plays to get through. But just multiple times throughout this game I'm watching, even like riding a play fake or a pop pass, just the intentionality he has to just throw these. And this sounds like such a small thing that I'm rambling on about. It really matters when you're throwing, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these a game, because you got to focus on accuracy on quick game. You got to hit guys in stride. You got to let them run after the catch. All of this matters in the context of being a quarterback. And I just thought, right out of the gate, first throw of the game, I was very encouraged to see him throwing quick game without being lazy with his mechanics. I need to make it extremely clear that I do not want Chambliss as a design runner often at the NFL level. He is a smaller guy. He's like 6 foot, 200. That being said, when he does run, I like how slippery he is. So we're going to just ride that fake. We're going to have a lead block with the running back. He just shows a lot of patience, a little wiggle. So he's going to, he feels, I thought he was going to climb here with the running back. Running back spilling outside. He's going to bounce outside. Good vision there and patience. And then just sidesteps that defender. Really like this. Let me move it back so you can see how that edge defender is reacting to this play. So they're really just going to play off this edge and where he goes, and then wherever he commits, we're going to go the opposite way, which is a nice job by Chambliss reading this. So that guy starts to feel Chambliss creeping inside, so he's going to start getting inside. He sheds, disengages. Chambliss feels that. Just quick little slip out. Really slippery. I like that he's a smart runner, gets past the sticks without taking a shot. This shows up a couple of times throughout the game. I wanted to show at least one scrambling play. Again, tiny quarterback at the NFL, I would get nervous running him often. We saw what happened to Jackson Dart this year, and I think he's a little bigger than Chambliss. But that being said, he has the ability to, and you can definitely catch an NFL defense off guard with the way that he plays. One of the big traits I'm usually looking for, especially from a smaller quarterback, well, honestly, any quarterback, is how they throw under duress. Like, are you still able to throw an accurate ball, step into a hit, and still deliver an accurate pass? And boy, I feel like we get that with Chambliss on this play. The guy that stands out in this class, and it's bar none, it's why he's going to be the #1 pick, is Fernando Mendoza when it comes to throwing under pressure. But this was a nice one. We've got this little twist. This D-line's crashing inside. We're going to have a linebacker loop around. Really nice game from the defensive front from Georgia to get that free rusher. Chambliss feels it. I like that he opens up his chest. He just knows he's going to take a shot. He gets tall. He follows through on this, and then just an absolute strike to hit that guy. I'll move the camera a little bit, and we can rewind it. But we've got that free release. He's going to step into that throw, knowing he's going to take a shot, and then just right on the money. Pretty far downfield, too. For a smaller guy, he definitely has legit zip on his arm, and it's good to see. We need to get some of those tough throws out. But I also just love the ability to step in on throw. Like, he's still trying to step into that, knowing he's taking a shot. Instead of fading away, he just doesn't have the size to do that. I always think of Jordan Love. He gets away with so many back foot throws, but it's also because he's ginormous and has, really long limbs, and like just kind of the torque he can put on a pass, even from his back foot, allows him to throw with velocity. But Chambliss doesn't have that luxury, so he does have to step into a throw like this. And I'm impressed that he's able to do that with a guy, barreling down, a free rusher in the A gap right in front of him, and to still deliver an accurate strike. Like, that's some composure I love to see. Speaking of composure, you want to see some of that. This isn't ideal on this play. Bad snap. He one-handed catches it like Odell Beckham. And then to make that and then not get rattled, you notice he's just staying calm. He's not panicking in the pocket. He's keeping his eyes downfield. And then he's just delivering a strike. Let me get this moved again. He's going deep, and he's just right in the bucket. It's a little hard to see the coach's film camera struggled getting it at the top. I think they were just surprised by the bad snap. So let's move it back for the snap and just how we, no panic here. One-handed, that's a horrible snap. I just love the composure, still gets his timing down, gets that throw out, and then we're just going to see at the top of the screen, right in the bucket, exactly where it needs to be. The deep ball placement for a guy of his size. I love that he can throw with velocity and touch. He feels so confident hitting those wide receivers when they have an inch of daylight. And you'll see later in this video too, even when he can't get over a corner, those back shoulder throw timing are also just as impressive. Now, just because we don't want Chambliss on a bunch of design runs doesn't mean we can't utilize his legs. This is a good example of it in the red zone. We're just going to have a quick rollout concept. And what I love here, you've probably noticed by now his release is pretty quick, whether it's deep, quick game, all of that. He can really whip that ball, but this is probably the best example of that. His ability to release quickly on the move is so valuable. And you just notice here, he gets that ball out ASAP. And why you're going to notice as this play rolls, he had to get that between two defenders. He feels that out. He knows the leverage. He knows he has this throwing window, and he just delivers that ball, with zip and accuracy. Something I really enjoy seeing. Let's roll it again. Just look at how quickly that ball gets out with legitimate zip on it. Just a real strike between two defenders. It's a phenomenal play. And this is why I start to see the Kyler and Caleb comps a little bit, is few guys throw this comfortably on the move with this much zip and accuracy. And it's one of those plays where I'm like, that's an NFL caliber throw in today's NFL with some of these, maybe more undersized quarterbacks, but they can do so much on the move and just open up so much of your playbook. Promise I'm not trying to go fast on purpose. We've just got a lot of plays to get through on this one. I even cut 6 different plays because I knew this video would just run forever if we added all of them. But I wanted to make sure that we got, a really healthy amount of, you can see a little bit of everything. And this is a great example of anticipating a throwing window. I want you to watch how he's just kind of eyeballing this linebacker, right? We're trying to keep an eye on where this is going because we're going to have a route come behind him. We don't want to give away where we're going so that this linebacker can get in the way of that throwing window, right? So what we're just going to do is keep an eye on him, and then we're going to anticipate that window because he's just starting to backpedal, and like we said, we have this route coming around. So he feels that route coming. He knows that we have this guy kind of stuck in sand, kind of drifting this way. So you can see at the bottom of the screen, Chambliss is anticipating that. That ball is getting wound up and out. Again, really quick release before this window is even occupied, but we can see we're trying to throw into this window right here. Feel the zone, anticipate it. It may be a little behind the tight ends, but I still think that's a catchable ball. Maybe we can hammer on the accuracy a little bit. What I just love is understanding by reading the linebacker, it's zone coverage. We're going to, just anticipate the throwing window in zone. And maybe it's a little behind, but if we lead it, maybe this guy can jump it. That it's nitpicky. It might not be perfect, but I would still expect his teammate to catch that ball. And beyond that, I just wanted to show his ability to anticipate a throwing window and throw with anticipation, because at the NFL level, man, you're just not going to get the luxury of being able to throw, inconsistently wide open spaces. And to me, this was an NFL caliber throw. Here's that back shoulder throw we were talking about, and he's going to do this while, getting a free rusher. I don't know if he feels this linebacker looping around, but I hope he has the feel for that, because he's getting that ball out quickly while getting crunched. And what I love here is just the anticipation after that ball's out, or the placement. That placement on the back shoulder for the receiver to go correct and get back to it. It's a play that always looks so easy, I guess, on a broadcast when you're watching a back shoulder, that's always going to be open. But the timing, placement, chemistry, all of that's needed to get a throw out like this, it's really hard. And he just felt very comfortable with this. I saw this a couple times in this game and throughout the season, that he just feels very comfortable hitting those back shoulder throws. And that just comes with tons of reps with your teammates. And to do that while getting just drilled by a free rusher makes it even more impressive. If you were angry at the Caleb comp earlier, I think this play will calm you down a little bit, and this is where I can see it a bit. This is an Ole Miss team fighting for their lives this whole game, just trying to come back, scrounge back, lead some go-ahead drives, game-winning drives. We can see here, he's staying in the pocket for as long as he can, finally feels the pressure, starts rolling around, suddenly turns back, sees another defender. He's in so much trouble here. There is nothing he's going to go on. What's he do? Shovel pass. There's the off-script stuff. And if this guy doesn't step out of bounds, this is a first down. But that's besides the point. You just want to avoid negative plays as a quarterback, straight up. Just even 2 yards versus a sack is such a huge win for this team that no one's going to be complaining. The instincts to just feel where pressure's coming from. I love he's standing in the pocket as long as possible until it finally collapses. Then he's escaping. And then just his movement to quickly change direction, feel where that pressure's coming from, avoid it at all costs, and then just last ditch effort, just shovel pass it just to get something out of this play. It was a positive 2-3 yard gain. It's so much better than taking a sack, especially in the situation of this game. I love this stuff. It's where I see the Caleb is, few guys can dance around in the pocket like this and make something happen. The shovel almost reminds me of a Josh Allen, although we're dealing with completely different body types. I do not say this lightly. I think this was the best throw of the game from Trinidad. Just blown away by the composure here. We got the play fake, eyes down the pocket, feel the pressure, scramble out, keep the eyes downfield, and then you just look the quick release, the placement, the accuracy, the zip, and then just guys open downfield, wide open. Just great throw. I'll try and adjust the the camera angle so you can see the full play here. I'll throw at the catch point, and then we can see where that ball goes. So feels the pressure, rolls out, and then as soon as he throws this, I'll get the camera move. So we got that. Just watch where that ball's going. Just wide open all the way downfield. To throw that kind of ball with that placement on the move with that kind of velocity, this is why I'm saying it's his best throw of the game. It's just there's few guys that can do stuff like this. It's terrific athletic ability along with just the accuracy on the move. I'm obsessed with this pass. That is just a huge play and a massive moment for Ole Miss. Sometimes you just got to take your shot when you feel it, and you can notice here safety is pretty close to the box. We've got one-on-one right here. Chambliss clearly reads that. We're just going to take a shot in the end zone. That safety cannot get over the top of this in time, and we know that. So we're just going to throw that one-on-one ball. Trust that we're going to have the right placement here, and here we go. Play fake, no hesitation, just set up, throw it, and man, on a back shoulder again, doesn't get much better than that. Comes with all that practice, all that timing, and he's just so comfortable with it. You're going to see, too, the safety starts to bump out a little bit with that motion, which is a tell to us that he's not really playing over the top. We don't really have any over-the-top defenders trying to cover this. And we talked about this all game. I love the intentionality every time he has a throw. He's got to quickly get out. Then he just sets those feet and lets it rip. And he does that the whole game and allows him to deliver with accuracy. It's just such a terrific play. I love the guy going nuts right here. Like that's how I would feel on the sideline too. I don't blame him. That's a hell of a throw. You want to talk about mental toughness, composure, all of that. About 20 seconds left in this game. It is a tie ball game, and Ole Miss is deep in their own territory, and that is not going to faze this man one bit. They are just going for it, and you can see the loft he puts on this throw, trying to make it a bucket shot. He's going to try and get it over the defender, and then just, man, wide open. Show it one more time. It's every time he's throwing, he's got those shoulders and feet pointed the right way. He's not drifting back. He's trying to get some loft on it, so he's got those shoulders pointed up. He's just going to drop it in the bucket, and then it's just, it couldn't be in a better spot for this receiver who catches it in stride behind the defense, and then suddenly we're in field goal territory. We throw a couple throws, to the sideline to just run some clock, kick the game-winning field goal. Ole Miss advances. What a terrific performance from this kid. Chambliss is a first-round pick. I really don't care, if that's a hot take or not. He's a first-round quarterback. He's QB2 on my board. This is a top 30 player in the draft. I don't care about the size. I care about the mechanics, the accuracy, the zip, the little bit of mobility he shows, the composure, the mental toughness to take your lumps, to start as a backup, a D2 player, and come in and compete with some of the best teams in the country. Like, this is next level stuff we're seeing from a kid. And I hope he goes to the NFL selfishly. I don't really have a rooting interest for Ole Miss, but would love to see where he goes in the NFL level. And there's so much that's going to happen in the coming weeks with this story. But I thought now is as good of time as any, regardless of if he goes back or in the NFL. You just kind of understand the kind of quarterback we're looking at. So hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on Trinidad. And if you want to see him play in college or the NFL, I'm curious for your take on that as well. We will be back on Monday following the Super Bowl, and it's draft season, baby. We might do a Super Bowl episode, but we simply have too much to talk about with the draft. And that's an exciting time to announce that Draft Talk will be returning with Justice Mosqueda with a video element on this channel. But if you just listen to podcasts, I'll make sure to provide links to that every time we have one of those videos. But stay tuned for that next week. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week on Best Available.